Talk, a podcast series where African American and Jewish teens get together to talk about their lives and issues they care about, to learn about each other's backgrounds and cultures and to build new friendships.
This episode is called Growing Up in Wisconsin. We are going to talk about what it is like, or what we like in Wisconsin, what we don't like, and what's good about growing up here and what needs to be a bit better.
I'm Lila. I am in 10th grade and my pronouns are she, her.
My name is Danye, and I am a junior, so in 11th grade at Sun Prairie East High School, and my pronouns are she, her.
All right, so one of the things I want to talk about is like just growing up. What are some of the good things? What's some stuff we like? I'm a foodie. I like all the cheese. I'm kind of basic Wisconsinite like that. Yeah. But that like one place on the square, that has the like little cheese store, very local. Amazing. My favorite spot.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I think the same thing for me is like the food. I really enjoy Culver's. I feel like that's a big Wisconsin thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much everywhere. It's really good. And then also bouncing off from like food and stuff and like things I like to do is like skiing. A big thing I like to do was like, go like skiing at Cascade Mountains when I was younger. It was really, really fun. I don't know if you've ever been.
I've never been
really
to Cascade. Yeah. A few years ago. I want to say it was pre-COVID actually, which is weird. That's a benchmark in my brain now. Yeah. I went cross-country skiing at one of the golf courses with some family friends. That's the only like real skiing experience I've ever had. But it was really fun.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's nice to do something a little more than just like dragging a sled up a hill every winter.
Yeah,
it's fun, and then you're tired of it after like 10 minutes. So skiing's definitely a lot better.
Yeah, and then like kind of like some things that I also liked is like we have a decent amount of activities, but the only thing that like I might dislike about this, like once you get through all of them, it's like nothing else to do unless like you got to repeat them. Like, for instance, like we have like our fairs and like Dane County Fair and stuff like that's pretty fun. Like, they have their concerts and stuff. We're able to hang out, all that. But then it's like sometimes it just, of course, doesn't always go as planned with like everything. But it's just like once you do everything, like for instance, like Sky Zone or like stuff like that. Like once you get through all that, it's like pretty hard to like find something to do. Yeah, it's like just like we get around the same thing. I mean, it might be in other small towns, but here in Madison, it's like the same few little things. Or are you Verona? Or?
Far west side, so like closer to Middleton, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the Good Neighbor Fest for the first time this year, and that was really fun. It's like this thing they do in Middleton, and they have like a craft market, and it's right by the high school, and what is it? They like bring a bunch of carnival games.
That's
so
nice.
My friends and I just like tagged along with her and a group of her friends, and we went on a few rides and like went through the craft fair. But like, it's the kind of thing we only are going to go once. It's like a 3-day thing, and I went for one of the days, and then the next day I went to go see the parade because my friend had a float in it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty nice.
But like next year I'm not going to go because it's like it's the same as any other fair you've been to.
Right.
It's just like specifically in Middleton.
Yeah, but that's pretty. I've never heard of that.
It's pretty cool.
Like, yeah,
I would go
nice.
just like for the fun of it.
Yeah. I also think there was a fair I also went to this year, but I forgot. I think it was the Willie's Street Fair. Oh, that was the first time I've ever been there. It was really, really fun. Like, I mean, like, we ran a little late, so of course it was like everything was like closing by then. But that was also something pretty fun to do. That's something that I like because it was like something new that I finally explored. And then I also did like an escape room this year. Yeah. I like the escape rooms. There's a lot
of escape rooms around here. They're really fun.
Yeah. It's just like you have to be into that stuff. But yeah, it's just like it's a lot of like fun activities, but then it's like once you get through everything again, like I was saying earlier, it's like once you get through it, it's like not much to do. Like so you're just like you're just I gotta travel somewhere else. So
yeah. The benefit of living in Madison is there are like 20 different tiny towns within a half-hour radius. My mom and I hit like 4 different places last year.
Oh, that's nice.
Because my sister started school a week before I did.
Is she college?
No, she's at like a private middle school.
Oh, okay.
And I'm at the public high schools. Yeah. So my mom and I just like had a week where we had to go do something, and we're not going to stay in Madison. So we just like went to every small town.
No, that's pretty nice.
All of them.
So what'd you find, or what'd you do there?
We went to the ferry, Merrimack Ferry, I think it is, right? You know that one? Yeah, the Merrimack Ferry, which is really cool. It's free. You just kind of drive. It's a little far from my house, but it's a really nice drive. It's very pretty because it goes to like the farmlands off on the Beltline highway, one of the two. I don't know what the difference is. And then you hit the ferry and you go on and you park your car on the boat and you can get out and you can like look at the lake, or I think it's a river actually. You go
That's
across.
nice.
There's like an ice cream spot on each side. So you go across and like find a place to park. You get some ice cream. You get back in your cars and come back. And it's like, it's still like the same issue of like it's always gonna be the same thing.
Yeah.
But like it's a nice local spot. It's on a lake.
Right.
And it's a fun way to like waste a couple hours where you just
Right.
want to like hang out with your family and chill. Because you just
Right.
get in the car, put on some good music, you're screaming going down these long hills. Like my family is a convertible, so you got like we got the top down, we got the music all the way up. We're having the blast.
Yeah.
It's very fun, free. I love that. The one thing about like our area is a lot of the stuff that you do, it's like scenic and like all of the like landscaping,
Yeah.
free, easy peasy. You want to go somewhere? Let's go for a hike. It's right there. It's Devil's Lake,
Right.
which I'm pretty sure is like a little money for like the parks, but still like it's right there. You can
Right.
just go.
It's pretty nice, yeah. And then like bouncing off like Devil's Lake, that reminded me like as a kid, a lot of things that I would go to like the Dells and stuff, like the water parks. I love the Dells. Like it's pretty fun. It's just like, of course, like with inflation and stuff now, like it has increased.
A little more expensive.
Yeah,
just
a lot
little
more expensive. So yeah, it's like a little bit like harder to get out there, but it was really, really fun. I think that was like one of the best things in my childhood, because I remember like at least we would go at least like 3 times each summer.
Oh, that's
to a different one.
great.
Yeah, it was amazing.
We have a lot of summer camps. That's what my summer's always been.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's like there's day camps, sleepaway camps in the Jewish community. Like there are like 5 different Jewish sleepaway camps in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that
especially
is-
for the
I feel-
lack of Jewish community in the area.
Yeah.
It's all the Chicago kids, and they're like, I want to go to this one or this one or this one. Throw it on a map. There's probably a camp there.
Yeah, that's pretty like fun. Like I feel like that was definitely like a good part of my childhood, growing up. But it kind of, yeah. But that's the thing about Wisconsin. Like I feel like Wisconsin's really like a nice like place to grow up when like you're younger, because like you're free spirited. Like you're just
Everything's
learning.
new.
Yeah, it's like everything is like so like, wow, that's cool. Like I want to go there again. Like it's just like it's fun and repetitive. But then it's like, once you get older and like you have to start spending your own money too, you're like, whoa,
Whoa.
like I don't know how my mom did that when we were younger. Like it's just stuff like that. And then like also the inflation made things a bit harder to even get out. And then like with COVID hitting, that also made things a little bit harder. So it was like, it was really, really nice growing up. It was really cool.
It's a cool place to grow up because you've got like everything, and then you get older, and now it's like I want to get my license so I can go to these things with my friends, and we're not doing them like we were little. We're just gonna, have some fun, maybe make a little trouble, no adult supervision, and that's why it's interesting, not because it's a new thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's pretty nice. So, a question that was on here was like, being that Wisconsin is primarily like white and Christian, what is it like growing up being Jewish, and what is it like being African American?
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, and then it says like, it's like, what do you feel like Wisconsin is welcoming for people who aren't a part of it?
I don't know how to like define welcoming,
Yeah.
It's like I've never felt like as a Jew you can't be here.
Yeah.
But it's also like
Subliminal stuff, you would say?
there's no like active welcoming, It's just kind of like you're here. All right.
Yeah, I get that. So that's how it kind of is with me. Like I feel like I feel like it depends on what area you are into.
Yeah.
Because like you can't as Wisconsin as a whole, you still have to remember there are many different counties around. So
especially once you get up north.
yeah, so it's probably not as good. Like I mean, for Madison, I feel like, or like the Dane County area, it's not as.
The Dane County area is pretty okay.
It's okay. I feel like it's not as terrible. I feel like it could be better, of course,
It
but I
can
don't
always
feel
be
like.
better.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think it has been like subliminal stuff of being African American. It's always gonna be like subliminal stuff, and like how things, like they kind of downplay how they are feeling. It's not. I don't know. It's not like the best, but I could say it's not the worst.
Yeah.
But I know there aren't like. It's not like terrible though,
Yeah. It's a college town, I think, which both helps and hurts, because it helps because no one's gonna be like wanting to say we don't want you here, because it's a college town, you want kids coming.
Yeah.
At the same time, everyone is going to be very sanitized.
Yeah.
Which can mean like they're going to be nice to you, but they're not going to say, yeah, of course. They're just gonna be like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
It's an area that like you can exist in, and they won't care if you're existing there.
Right. It's
I
just
feel.
kind of like,
You're here.
I don't know. I wouldn't say it's been like, I don't know. I feel like it is a lot of like systematic stuff. It's more so systematic than the people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it'll be more police like problems for me at least, because I'm African American, but I don't, like it's more like systematic, more government, more police, all that. But like as far as like the people, I feel like there actually hasn't been that bad, but like there has been some issues, like for instance like in the school and stuff, that like people they can say a lot of things or like hurtful things that they may not think is like bad. Like for instance in my school, I go to St. Prairie, so it's definitely predominantly white.
Like a rich white school, isn't it?
It's really, really like a white area, white Americans. It's not terrible, but it has been some incidents that like have been towards African Americans, which I did not like. I don't know if I should like even touch on like the.
That's true.
I mean, like for instance, like one thing that happened this year actually.
This year, okay.
It was a football game, and it was like a white lie for like the theme. So you would like wear a white shirt and write like a lie on there. Someone like was like, I'm not racist, and then like took a picture with a black guy, and it was.
That's not okay.
Yeah, it's not, and that's what I'm saying. It's like stuff like that, but it's not being stopped. But like also you can't say much because that stuff like that happens when you grow in a home that is like that.
Yeah.
So that means that could have been going on for generations. That is that person's parents who's teaching them this. Because again, that is a student who did that. It's not an adult. It's a student.
It's like
so. Yeah,
it's like a home thing. It's not like because of the school. It's because like this person grew up like that, which is a different issue entirely.
And like the thing about it is like he's openly racist. Like he does not care. I mean, it's not. But it's like again, like you can't stop anyone from being racist. You kind of have to just like.
There's only so much a school can do. It's like, we're going to give you a reprimand. We're going to suspend you for saying these things.
Yeah.
But if someone is smart, they're going to get away from that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And people can really like hide it, but I mean, like as far as like him actually like, I don't know if he's like physically like did anything terrible, like but I know that it's just been like it's hard. It's been sometimes like even like in history class, people call like African Americans monkeys and stuff like that, and like they think it's a joke. It's not funny.
It's not funny.
But like, what can you really? It's just stuff like that, and it kind of like makes you not want to be there. It's not much they can even do about that,
Yeah.
It's just a lot of like racism for that, like I guess you could say racism.
Yeah.
But like for you as a Jewish American girl,
it's very different.
Yeah,
it's
I don't think it's more like racist towards you.
It's like because like it's a lot easier to hide anti-Semitism. Yes. That's like the main thing. There are like dog whistles that people are always like watch out for, and it could be like the simplest stuff that people don't even realize. Like I don't even remember what conversation we were having about like giving someone a headband or something, and someone said, what if you give him a red armband? And I went, absolutely not. And everyone's like, why not? I was like, do I seriously pull up a picture of a Nazi uniform to explain to you why we don't give someone a red armband? Or someone is like doing this, and I'm watching, I'm like, if they open their hand, I swear.
So what does that mean to you? Like, why does that affect you?
It's just like you have to watch these, and people don't actually know. So you could like see someone doing something that, like you could see someone doing the Hitler salute and not knowing it's a Hitler salute. And you'll be like, oh my God, is that person going to hate me because I'm Jewish?
Right.
And you have no way of knowing. It's not as like outright, I want to say. Like I feel like, and like from watching racism happen, it's like very easy to say this person's doing it on purpose. But there's a lot of things that people don't realize are anti-Semitic.
Yes, that's fair. And I feel like that's the same thing in my school. Yeah. So it's like some people can say some things that are hurtful, and they really don't understand because it's not being taught properly.
Yeah.
So I understand that completely, because it's like sometimes you, like I said, like even like the thing of like growing up in a home that is like that.
You don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
If your parents don't teach you, you're not going to know until you get to the place where they say it's wrong.
Right. So it's like it's just not. I don't think it's like taught as well as it should be,
I noticed with like schooling especially, we had a discussion group in my history class as like one of the tests because we had a really hard chapter.
Yeah.
And I was observing the discussion on the question, I think it was, how does the East-West schism of Christianity affect us today? And someone compared the Crusades to the Nazis, and how they were trying to eradicate an inferior religious group. And my teacher had to step in and explain that they saw the Jews as a whole entire race. And as someone who grew up like knowing the history of the Holocaust and the history of Jewish persecution, it was very much like so we are 16 years old.
Right.
And people do not realize that the Nazis thought the Jews were inferior, not as a religion, but as entire beings.
Right.
And this is AP World, so we're going to hit on the Holocaust eventually, but we're going to hit on the entire World War II. And I'm kind of like watching this, and this has been an issue for like years of schooling of like, are they going to teach my history properly?
Right.
Or am I going to have to explain to my classmates, no, actually, they skipped this bit.
Right.
How much are they going to be able to teach something, and how much am I going to sit there saying that is wrong because they're skipping a part or they've missed it entirely? Like, Holocaust education should not be waiting until high school. And like, it really gets on my nerves. It's like, people don't know what they're doing. They're not going to know this is anti-Semitic. They're not going to know they're making their Jewish friends uncomfortable. They might not know their friends are Jewish.
Exactly.
And then someone will say something, and all of a sudden you're like, I can't be your friend anymore because you said that.
Yeah.
And they won't even know.
Right.
It's not fair to anyone in the system at all. It's not just like the Jews. It's like, everyone needs to know that this happened. And like, people are saying now, the saying is like, never again is now.
Right.
Never again's like the saying for like the Holocaust. We will not let this happen again. And then like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, we had the neo-Nazis on campus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
Last time we were recording, actually, that same day, we had people on campus. They marched up. Was it marching up State Street to the Capitol, right? Nazi flags, doing the salute. Whole 9 yards, swastikas, everything. This is a neo-Nazi student group at UW.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I came right down here and recorded a podcast. I was like, great.
Yeah, that is a lot to handle.
So it's like, and on some level, I fault the school system because I'm like, you need to be teaching them this is wrong before they're old enough to like realize this actually, I can get away with this.
Right, because you really can't. But I mean, also what they use is like their First Amendment, which is like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, stuff like that. But like at the same time, it's like freedom of speech. When people are like, I have freedom of speech, it's like, yes, you do, but it should still be in a respectful manner. You have to still respect others and how they are feeling, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, because it's like, I don't feel like it's fair that people are treated differently based off what they are or what they look like, skin color, religion, sex, gender, whatever you want to call it.
No.
I don't feel like that's, or even age. I don't feel like that's fair. You know, because it's like, if I say something that is like, I guess like, I would say like outrageous and like crazy, and like people are like, oh, you're saying this, and then it's like someone else who is completely the opposite, like let's say like a white male said it, same age, same group, it's fine.
It's fine.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I think that it definitely needs to be set in place that people should know. Like, you know, it's just, it's not right. And people, I think some people even know that, but for some reason, they just know that they can get away with it. So it's like, whatever, like, you know. So it's just, but yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, that's something that's not okay, that you should even have to go through. So I apologize. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, that is a lot to handle. And then, like, to bounce off kind of what you were saying, like, in school discussions, like, with slavery and stuff. So my mom, she actually is like very big on that. Like, she teaches me a lot about it, like behind the scenes. And then like my friend, her dad, he's kind of like a father figure to me. He also talks a lot about it. And the thing is, like, with us is like they hide a lot of the history, and I like not even like taking it away from like what you're saying, but like I agree with you that they take a lot of the history and kind of like humble it up,
like anything.
Yeah, and like they just, and then some people interpret things the incorrect way, which makes them say things that are outrageous. Like, for instance, like if they see, I don't know, is it Muslims? Maybe if they see Muslims, I believe they would think like, oh, they have a bomb, or they're gonna. Is that
like like after 9/11, that panic over it,
like that type of thing. Like they don't, like, you know, certain things like in history can make them look at people
very differently.
Yeah, it just makes them like target one group, which isn't like
the way things are taught is really messed up. And I think I've noticed in the Madison School District, in order to like, I don't even know what the right word for this is, like make it better that they haven't been teaching Black history properly, they're renaming all of the schools after founding fathers who owned slaves, which is like great. Love that they're trying to fix that. Almost everyone back then owned slaves.
Right.
On some level, you cannot keep renaming things. That's not going to solve your issue. Go teach it better. Like my school is now give Vel Phillips Memorial. Vel Phillips, amazing woman. She did some really cool stuff. But also, renaming the school does not like make you okay. Right. There are other ways to fix it. Start teaching better.
And that's what I'm saying. And I can agree with that too, because it's like they can take the smallest thing and they're like, well, that's fixed. Now we dusted that off. But yeah, like no, and that's not okay. Like it's not I don't know. It's just not okay.
You gotta, like, things need to be taught.
Yeah, and it's just, like, people don't understand that. And then it's, like, when you voice your opinion or voice your feelings, you're too sensitive. Or, you're
too young.
Yeah.
The amount of middle school, because I went to a private middle school.
Right.
Which means we were exempt from the, like, law Wisconsin has about teaching the Holocaust. We didn't learn about the Holocaust until my DC trip. This was 8th grade. We went to the Holocaust Museum for 2 hours. For people having, I don't know if you're on the Holocaust Museum or not in DC, 2 hours is nowhere near enough time to get through the Holocaust Museum. Mm-hmm. We ran over. We got in trouble for running over. Meanwhile, me and the other Jewish girl in the class are going, sorry, 2 hours to get through 3 floors of the Holocaust of 6 million people being murdered. You're giving us 2 hours to process that?
Yeah.
With the background information of a 1-page sheet? No. Think that through a little more.
Yeah, right. And that is completely fair. It's kind of the same thing because I had a BSU field trip actually like recently, and we went to like the International like Civics Museum, I believe, or like National African American. It was one of those museums. We went to a few museums, but it was like the same thing, but it was like 4 levels. I understand. I completely can agree with you because it's like
the biggest topic.
Yeah,
it's like really important.
Or you gotta like start from somewhere, like you only get like 10 minutes in each room, and you gotta just go. Yeah. So I completely understand.
No one's learning anything if you do that.
I mean, you might pick up like small little things, but you're not getting the whole picture.
Yeah.
And so I can completely like relate to that. So I completely understand. So then I would say like bouncing off of that, like since we're talking about our religion, ethnicity, and everything, a question on here was also like, do you think it's kind of like separated in school, or is it combined, or more like intermingled? Like, do you think people actually?
I think at my school it's more intermingled, but mostly as like necessity. I know I can name 5 Jews at my school, and I'm pretty sure there are only like 10 total across the 4 grades. So like we kind of have no choice in a way. I think it's very much like you have to intermingle or you will not have many friends.
Yeah.
And I got lucky enough to reconnect with a friend who I used to go to Hebrew school with, and now I'm in a class with him, and we share a bunch of other classes, and we like eat together and text regularly. But last year, I hadn't reconnected with him yet. So I'm like intermingling with everyone because I don't actually have a group to go with, if that makes any sense. I have no community there. This is my first year at a new school, and I don't know anyone. Mm-hmm. My mom had to set me up on a like coffee date with a daughter of a friend of hers to get me a group of people to like be eating lunch with, so I wasn't eating in the hallways. Yep. But it was like, it's like forced intermingling. Like you have no other option. Yeah. Go be lonely or go find some friends who you have like a connection with that's only academics, if that makes sense.
And so for me, it's kind of like the same thing. I think it is still kind of separate. Like you can see a big group of like white people, a group of Mexicans, a group of African Americans, a group of Indian Americans, like that. So yeah, I do kind of feel like it is pretty separate when it comes to like religions and backgrounds. I don't think it's like intentional, but like you said, it's like when someone understands where you're coming from or understands your history or understands you as a person, it's easier to mingle with them or like create friendships and everything or like based off of that. So I completely understand that. For me, it's kind of the same thing. I kind of eat alone majority of the time. I have people that I know or whatever, but it's like kind of like I kind of stay to myself. I do have friends that are like white Americans, of course. Like I don't discriminate. I don't hate anyone. It's fine. Like, I don't mind. It is still hard because like you have to find someone who understands you. Like my best friend, she goes to the school which is across town, which is the Sun Prairie West, because they have 2 new high schools. So she understands me. Like that's where me and her like came from. But like unfortunately, since we're like separated, I'm kind of like still alone, and I like can't voice my own opinions because she was the one that was there. Like I'm standing with you, and that's what we're gonna do. Like we're talking about this, we're on it together. Like that's what we're doing. But then of course it's like now since we're a little separated, we still have our BSU and stuff, but people don't voice their opinions as much as they should. Yeah. So it's hard to find people who will actually like step behind you and understand what you're saying. Because I mean, I have like white American friends, and like they're like, what? Like why would anyone be racist? Like they may think that, and it's good coming from them to like, educate their own like, I guess, religion, people, whatever. But like there's no one that looks like me, like as much. Like I think maybe, I don't know how many people it is, but I know it's definitely predominantly white. It's definitely more white people. It's kind of unfair to say like, oh, we should get more African. It's not gonna happen. It's not realistic. It's just like it's we're all issue. Separated. Yeah, it's just like we can't really like. It's like singing the same song. We can't keep talking about one problem. It's like, you can't really change the separation because that's how it is. Like it's only gonna be small groups of I guess you could say multicultural students. I don't like to say minorities because I don't feel like we should be called it. But multicultural students, I feel like it's only so many that when we do like that, we have to be so small. So it's like I can't even blame the school district because it's like, what can you really do? Like you can't
like make someone move into your district. I think a lot of like, I wouldn't say negative, just like there's a lot of associations with Memorial, my school, because we are a school that is like much more evenly, if not more leaning towards like having a higher population of Black students. Yeah. And it's like, this is the ghetto school. This is the school that's like, it is kind of under construction right now, but so is every MMSC school. Like West cannot fault us for not having good facilities. They are using our track and our theater. Yeah. Like it's still
East is using your field, aren't they?
Yeah. But it's like, we're still the school that's like, down and rugged and everything only because of where we are, and I'm over here like the downtown school is the one currently using half of our facilities and we're the ones who aren't working properly. I'm sorry.
And I think sometimes, like you said, like it could be more because you may have African American students, so they use that and they say, oh, that's it's not fair. And I feel like also bouncing off of that, like when it comes to Madison School District, they also may not teach things as properly as they should.
They don't.
Yeah, I don't feel like they do. Like, I know a lot of students or people who are in the, like, most of my friends are Madison District. Like, I know a lot of people in there. I feel like they aren't getting, like, it doesn't make sense of how far they are behind Sun Prairie.
How are you guys learning? Like,
I believe we are ahead. For me, I'm a junior and I'm doing pre-calc, but seniors do pre-calc, I think. And
they literally just changed that. This year we started having an AP pre-calc.
That's nice.
Because the issue was seniors who were taking pre-calc were not going into college with enough knowledge. So now anyone who wants to take calc has to take the AP pre-calc version, no matter what grade you are. Mm-hmm. I think we just have a lot more students who aren't a year ahead in math because I'm on that like year ahead track. I will be taking pre-calc next year. It's just like a little down. I think, we're not being like taught as far up as we could be.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just stuff like that it's just not as many opportunities as like a place like Sun Prairie has, you know, or some place like Verona or Monona may have because they're bigger school districts, newer.
Richer areas. We've been talking about that with our board. They just like, my parents and I talk about, we call it to the lowest common denominator. All of MMSD is like, they're trying to get rid of like honors and stuff. So the kids who aren't getting them are now equal with the kids who are by taking away the opportunity for that like advanced education, which contributes to us being behind you, I think.
Okay. And then I think the last one, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we pretty much topped majority of it. I think
the one about like finding a sense of community, like more like where you find more of it, I think is interesting.
Yeah, okay. I think we can end off with that then. Do you want to start off by talking about that?
I think my community is like mostly based on my youth groups. Like UBSU, I'm part of USY. I have an event right after this, which is the United Synagogue Youth. And it's a bunch of the conservative Jewish movement, which is like not quite towards like Orthodox, like kind of like what you would think of like Jew with the like black hat and the coat and the beard, like farther, like less like religious than that, which are like pretty religious. And it's like kids from that. And it's like 8th grade through senior in high school. And like that's where my like friends are. That's where my group is. Like I'm on the board for my local chapter. And then there's an event coming up, I think next week for like the entirety of Choosy, which is the Chicago area USY. I don't know how Madison got there, but we are. And then the EMSA, which is the Midwest one. Yeah. And they come together. And then I'm going to do a Shabbaton, which is like a weekend trip with C-Team, so the Chabad, the like Orthodox group, to New York in February. And like that's the community I kind of have. It's like through my religion, I'm finding these friends who I connect with and I can joke with and I can make these kind of jokes that I can't make with anyone else. Because like, you can't make a Jewish joke with a non-Jew. No one's going to get it. Someone's going to think you're offending someone. Yeah. And I'm over here like, I can say that. Yeah. Holding up my little star necklace. I'm not wearing it right now. I can say that. I promise.
Yeah, and I can kind of agree with that. So something I'm involved in at my school would be BSU. That is a very good, I guess you could say, like, group to go to. Club.
I've heard good things about it.
It's really, really fun. I love the trip that we do. Like, they make sure we are educated on it and that we know what's going on or whatever, you know, in our history and everything. So they make sure that we are where we need to be. They also offer us like get help or like we have like little study groups sometimes even in there. Cool. Yeah, it's like really, really nice to like understand from someone who looks like you where it's going, and I feel like that is very, very helpful. And then also I'm involved in group that is called MSAN, which is multicultural students. I always forget the
something rather.
Yeah,
it's a multicultural group.
Yeah, it's a multicultural group. So it's like Mexican Americans, white Americans, Asian Americans, everything. Something that we really did this year that I really, really enjoyed was we had a conference. It's something that they do every 2 years. So it's people coming from all over. So they all come out. Like, it was people from Chicago, New Jersey, Minnesota, like everywhere. No, it wasn't Minnesota. It was Michigan, actually. And then it was, I believe, New York, too. It was a lot. Virginia.
And they all came to here?
Yes.
Whoa.
So we all got to link up kind of like and hang out and like discuss issues in our school and like kind of do that. But we also had fun, though, you know?
Yeah.
That was like and like I'm a very, very like out of the way shy person. So something we did was like we intermingled, like we had a good time. Like we actually talked to each other. Like it was the first time like I actually felt like, you know, wow, like this is nice. Like I actually can be myself around people that I don't even know and they're not judging me. It was like very like welcoming. I love, like that's what I would say welcoming is, like going back kind of like to the first question we had, like that was welcoming. It was always like, it never was like ha 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 like you're doing, like we had like a talent show. It was never like laughing at anyone. It was always like, you gotta keep going, like, you know, that's how we were really encouraging, especially since we were like the hometown group. We ended up going to the Madison Concord Hotel, so it was really nice hotel. It's a really nice hotel, yeah. And we had everyone there. It was a lot of planning. It was a lot, but it was a lot to take in, but it was really fun, and I feel like more kids should be involved in that. Actually, it's really nice, and I'm not sure if they even have that going on in Madison.
I have no clue if they have that in Madison.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it definitely is at Sun Prairie. And then I have the teacher who runs it. He's very awesome. Like he makes sure that we're always in the know of what's going on. You know, he's just always there. Like, and then like even like when we were there, it was during like the school like week. But the teachers there that we had one was a math teacher, one was an English teacher, and then like they were able to help us like with our homework
balance
too.
Everything. Yeah,
it wasn't stressful, and that's what I'm saying. Like stuff like that is very, very fun.
I think it's important for like especially kids our age to like have a place that's like attached to the school but isn't school.
Yeah, like clubs or
clubs and stuff like that. Like I've noticed like a lot of like various multicultural groups like have their like own club. There's the BSU. There's I saw posters for like a Muslim club that looked really that looked pretty interesting. I was like, oh, they got that. It's cool. My school is like a prayer room too, which is like awesome. I think a lot of MSD schools have them. And I saw there's a Spartan Christian athletes and just like those kind of groups. And like the thing is about my school is like we don't have enough Jews to create that, so we have to like make our own outside of it, which like then creates like the same environment. Last night I was at like a very like good Shabbos dinner with a bunch of people. I was I was on the younger side because there's a Shabbos dinner, so you have like all the generations, and we're like bouncing off each other the same way you're talking about your big event, but it was like a much smaller scale because there's not that many people. But it's like that kind of place where you can be is really important. I think Wisconsin lacks a lot of those.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good like opportunity. Like I feel like that's some things that we like need more in for sure. Like because that made me feel like very happy, and I wasn't judged by people. Like where I went, I just wasn't judged.
It's like you can be you. Yeah, that's what you're here for.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I think we can wrap it up from there.
That's right. This has been The Talk. Thank you for listening. I'm Lila.
And I'm Danya.
And yeah.